My name is Charles M. Gravao, and I'm a Justice of the Superior Court in Massachusetts. I grew up in Cuba, and I heard Spanish and English all the time, and I learned both in school while I lived in Cuba. Well, I'm primarily a lawyer. I've been a judge 15 years in Massachusetts, but as a lawyer, I represented Latinos or Hispanics during my whole career. And I spoke Spanish in my office. I had bilingual secretaries, and most of my clients were Hispanics. And I use Spanish every day. It opens many doors, not only in terms of employment opportunities, but great pleasure traveling. I use it all the time. I travel all over the Caribbean, and it just opens doors culturally, and I meet many different people because I am able to speak Spanish.
My name is Mary Sitt. I'm a business reporter at the Boston Globe. English is the only language that I speak, but I'm trying to learn Spanish. Spanish is a beautiful language. I think it's fairly easy to learn, and it's the second most spoken language in the United States, so it's very practical. 2915. I'm interested in some demographic information about housing, and you can give me a call. I am on a deadline. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. As a journalist, I think it's important to be bilingual. It brings diversity to the pages. You're able to interview other people whose first language isn't English, so you bring new voices to your stories, and that's important.
My name is Jose Maso. I am a sports and entertainment agent, and I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I speak Spanish, which is my native tongue and my first language, because my area of expertise has to do with the Latin market, both in baseball and entertainment. So therefore, if I'm going to be working with Latinos coming from Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and other Spanish-speaking areas, it's important that I communicate with them in their own native language, and more so because of the cultural background. So it's not important just to be able to speak the language, it's important to know the culture as well.
Buenos dias. My name is Alan Altman. I'm a physician, a gynecologist in Brookline, Massachusetts. ¿Tiene algo problema? I'm originally from Long Island in New York State, where I grew up and attended medical school as well. English is not the only language that I speak. It's incredibly important in the medical profession. If I have a Spanish-speaking patient and communicating with them in Spanish makes them feel that you care about them enough to speak in the same language that they do. And quite frankly, I enjoy doing that because it helps me practice my Spanish. Well, it is important to know a bit more about the language involved. It's important to have some idea of the customs of the people involved, but also about their attitudes towards sexual health in my field, their attitudes towards medical care per se, their attitudes towards the ability to open up and talk to a physician without holding what they consider private things back.
Cost of staying here will be prohibitive. They want us out, and that's...
My name is Amalia Barrera. I'm a journalist, a broadcast journalist at WCVB-TV in Boston, and I'm originally from Nogales, Sonora, Mexico. I think it is important, not only in my profession, but in any profession, to speak Spanish or any second language. If not equal importance to knowing their language, I think it's very important to know something about their culture. It's important to know how it is that they live, how it is that they function, what their environment is about, what their history is about. From personal experience, I can tell you that it is so much easier for me when I arrive at an assignment, when Spanish happens to be the language the subject is speaking that I'm going to be reporting on. It is a great advantage for me to be able to speak with them in Spanish, even if they speak English. To be able to communicate with them in their native language opens up all kinds of doors to me.
Yeah, I'm Enrique Iglesias, and I was born in Madrid, Spain, in 1975, and I'm a singer-songwriter. only speak English and Spanish. Actually, I can speak a little bit of Portuguese and a little bit of Italian, but not, no molto bene. It's important because I think, anyways, I mean, I grew up speaking Spanish and I sing in Spanish. I'm in Spanish, so I gotta speak Spanish.
My name is Alberto R. Gonzales, and I'm the counsel to the President. I currently work in the White House, and I live in Virginia. As a lawyer for the President, I advise him on all matters that affect the White House and the presidency. Almost everything that he does has a legal component to it. Everything that he signs, any prepared remarks, speeches, our office reviews it. My parents were migrant workers. I come from a very poor family, poor background. And my father had a 2nd grade education, and my mother had a 6th grade education. And they both quit school to start working to help raise money for their respective families. My parents spoke Spanish to each other, but they spoke to us in English. I think that they felt that it was so vitally important for us to be very proficient, or as proficient as possible in English, in order to succeed. I would certainly encourage people, particularly along the border of Mexico, California, and Arizona, and New Mexico and Texas, where you have a lot of people that speak Spanish, a lot of business that goes on between Mexico and those states, that it makes sense to be able to speak Spanish.